This presentation is about an inspiring entrepreneur and writer named Blake Mycoskie, who is the founder and chief shoe giver of Tom's Shoes.
What if I started a shoe company, and every time I sold a pair of shoes, I gave a pair away? And that way, as long as I continue to keep selling shoes, these kids will have shoes for the rest of their life.
Here is a video produced by Smartwater where Blake will tell you about the one-for-one model and a little bit about how the business got its start.
I'm Blake Mycoskie, founder and chief shoe giver of Tom's Shoes. Smartwater and GQ have asked me to share some of my smartest ideas. 5 years ago, I was in Argentina on a holiday, and I met some children that didn't have shoes, and some volunteer workers that were working to get them shoes. I wanted to improve their lives by making sure they had the shoes they needed to go to school or for public health, but I didn't want to start a charity. Because if I started a charity, I'd be responsible and dependent on additional donations to continue that giving. So instead, I started a for-profit business, a shoe company based on a very simple model. For every pair we sell, we give a pair away, one for one. Since then, we've given over 1 million children a pair of shoes. I learn something new every day, and I think everyone, if they approach life like that, will too.
Tom's is Blake's fourth endeavor into entrepreneurship. His start was sophomore year in college when he opened a laundry business. After college, Blake traveled to Argentina, and that is where he got his idea for Tom's Shoes. Now you may be wondering where he got the name Tom's.
Yeah, it's confusing for people because when we started, the idea was, okay, if we can sell a pair of shoes today, we will give away a pair of shoes tomorrow. And then we were going to call them tomorrow shoes, but I couldn't figure out how to fit tomorrows on this little tag.
Right.
So I shortened it to Tom's, and people have called me Tom ever since. So I answered to both, don't worry.
As Blake stated to Ellen, Tom stands for Shoes for Tomorrow because Tom's is not about a person, it's about a promise for a better tomorrow. The whole business started with only $5,000, a couple of employees, and a local Argentinian shoemaker, and a factory about as big as a garage. The classic Tom's shoe design was based off of the traditional Argentinian shoe, the alpargata. Blake wanted to keep the design traditional Argentina, but created a more upscale design for the American market. The first summer, Tom's took off and sold 10,000 pairs of shoes, meaning that 10,000 Argentinian children in need were going to get what could be their first pair of shoes. In Blake's book, Start Something That Matters, he describes his first shoe drop in Argentina as being so emotional. He says, "I was so overcome with emotion that I could barely slip the first pair of shoes on a child without crying with love and happiness." Today, the vision of Tom's has expanded to multiple countries around the world. And now, they even sell eyewear, whose proceeds go towards eye care for people in need. When Blake returned home from the first shoe drop, he realized that Tom's was going to be his life. He didn't have to compartmentalize any of his life's ambitions. He converged them all into a single motion, and that is why I think that he is such an amazing entrepreneur. Thank you.